Hi, and welcome to Distance with Wax Buffalo. I am Alicia. I'm so happy you're here with us today, and I am excited to introduce you to my friend, Stacey Bingham. She has created the most beautiful project out of these last few weeks called Lemonade. She is a friend of mine from long ago. We've been friends for a while, and when she called me up and told me a little bit about her idea of coming up with a project that would help raise money for families in need here in Lincoln, Nebraska, I was like, yes, girl, yes, and how can we help? And so we've created a really fun lemonade candle, which we are going to pour for you today. And of course, will be up online for you to purchase and be able to give to her incredible project. But I'm excited for her to tell you the vision and just the story behind everything. And you're going to love her. Stacey, I'm so glad you're here. Hi.
Hi, Alicia.
Thanks for jumping on. It's good to see you. Stacey and I go way back. Yep. We've been telling stories together and making marketing magic for a while. But tell everybody a little bit about your background. You have a really cool background, and I feel like I won't do it justice. So give us the Stacey rundown.
Or eclectic. Very eclectic.
Yeah, I like eclectic.
So we had kids early. So I'm a mama of 3 teenagers. So almost 18, almost 16, and almost 14. Always had a love for telling stories too. I feel like you have that gift. And
I think that's how we connected, don't you think?
Yeah.
We're both yeah.
I think just building people and developing things that are meaningful to me, like doing work that's meaningful. And so I've been a marketer and a builder, I call it, for a while. And that's just like the heartbeat of my passion. And so this little idea really came to be in such a strange and organic way. And I don't know if you can relate to this, but I feel like I've always been one that's been a supporter and a cheerleader of other people's dreams and ideas. I love bringing people together that have unique gifts and talents, and just seeing what sort of beautiful things happen, when you bring them together and what they can create together. But I think I've been less likely to step into the light of being the one that's taking that risk for whatever reason, like honestly, when I was processing this recently, like maybe it's that whole idea of not being enough, and I don't know if a woman, if that's just being a woman or if others could relate to that, but
I totally relate with it, honestly, Stacey, because even before Wax Buffalo, my background's being a producer. That's how we connected. And so you find these super talented people and you bring them all together and you create this magic. But when it was putting myself out there, even with Wax Buffalo, people would be like, you should sell your candles. And I'd be like, no, that's so scary. So I relate. And I don't know why. Why do we act like that?
Yeah. So, it's really it was a processing moment for me, but essentially what happened, the backstory is, it's probably been since mid-March, when all of our lives and, with 3 teenagers, it was 100 miles an hour, because I work full time. And often my prayer would be I just want to slow down. I just miss them. I miss connecting with them. I miss the moments of when they were littles and I could control the environment and we could do all these fun things together. And I was the center of their world. And that was hard too. I know you're in that stage of life right now.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a revolt. It changes, and it's lonely sometimes. And so I had longed for that. And then it went from that 100 mile an hour to 0 or 1. Okay. And I just remember just seeing everywhere, and I'm sure all of us, because we're just kind of barely coming out of it and reeling still a little bit, but fear and worry and just so many feelings and emotions, especially on social media, and which is where a lot of us spend a lot of time, right?
Yeah. Well, especially when we're cooped up at home, you're desperate to see what everybody else is doing.
So anyway, I remember just walking and thinking and praying about it. And I've always liked lemons, and that's the serendipitous part of this. Is anybody that knows me knows that I love lemon things, all lemon things, really, like lemon flavored things. And so the whole thought just came to me about what about making lemonade, but the play on words.
Out of this time.
Play on words, like AID, actual aid. And so of course I said something to Sophie, my almost 16-year-old, and she rolled her eyes, was like, oh, Mom, and laughed at me.
Bless her little heart.
I reached out to a few people that I respected. You're one of them. And just said, what do you think of this? And everybody was like, it's awesome. I love it. I can't believe nobody's done it before. It's so simple. You know, once you tell enough people, really anything.
Yeah.
So that's a tip, right? Tell enough people that it pushes you off the cliff.
Yeah. You have to do it then.
Yep. Then it was make it happen, girl. Because when you think about like who needs aid, there were so many. And you know, I mean, because I feel like part of your heart is a helper's heart, you know, like how can you help people? How can you, and collaborations. And so I'd reached out to a few people and just said, who needs the help? I don't want it to just be dumped into some big fund. I really want to help somebody a lot.
Like one-on-one. I really liked that aspect of like your inspiration for this was that it was really like small batch giving.
So through like a friend of a friend, we learned of this sweet little family, and I actually still haven't met them. And I was telling somebody that today, Eli and Lisa, but I learned of their story, and I just knew like they were the ones. And long story short, everybody will have to go like learn a little bit more about them, and they could tell it much better than I because it's their story. But they own a small Mexican restaurant. They've owned it since 2010. And I think that they have 4 children and I believe just 2 employees. And so the wife, Lisa, ended up having a heart transplant relatively recently. And then all the COVID stuff hit and they're really struggling, even just to this day. In fact, last night they posted something and she just said that it's getting harder, like not easier. And that's the thing that's so interesting to think about too. And I'd be interested to hear what you have heard. It's like just because things are starting to open up, that doesn't mean that the struggle is now over for people. And in a lot of ways, I feel like it's just barely under the surface. And so now they're counting on us.
So how are you, go from the brain of like, okay, you knew that you needed to help. You had this idea for lemonade and then you started pooling resources. So I know that you're selling products online and all of the proceeds go directly to whoever you've picked to help for each project, right? Talk us through that just a little bit.
So I made a few notes because, you know, anytime you start thinking about who all was involved in something, the list is long. You know, like there's all those trite statements about, you know, like if you're going to do anything great, you got to do it together. But there's such truth. There's such rich truth to some of that. I call it like grassroots ragtag. But I'm telling you, like once people heard the story of this family, the thing that's so beautiful is just seeing how everybody has pitched in with their unique gifts to help. And so there's a gal, Tiffany, it makes me teary. She donated her time for the website. And then there was another gal that I reached out to named Sherry. And she owns Stories of Glory photography here in Lincoln. Okay. And I told her the story, and so she went to take their photos. So any of the photos you see of that family she took. There was another gal, Emily, who used her gifts of sewing to create these masks. And so she's a little local gal, and that was precious to see kind of her use her gifts in that way. And Dana is like the literal brains behind the entire design. And so kind of co-founder in all of that with me and kind of brought my crazy ideas to life through the visual gift that she has. And there's probably so many more. My sister-in-law, her children, she photographed them for me because they are precious and beautiful. And so they are all over all of the, you know, marketing.
I love it. Your little mini models. And that's the logo that's on your hat. Is that the cute little lemonade logo?
Yeah.
And you're selling these hats and your t-shirt.
Yep. So I'm sporting it all. So it's really simple. It's just right now it's the hats and the t-shirts and these cuties. These have been totally people love them.
Good. We're going to make another one today. And then as people buy these on the site, they're basically supporting this family, right? The money goes straight through.
Yep. I think the thing I underestimated was just the sheer number of volume. And so the goal that we had for them, and this like didn't sound like that much, was like, I want to be able to write them a $10,000 check. And so all profits are going to them. And so when somebody purchases a thing, all the proceeds are going to go to help that little Santana family. And I can't wait to have a videographer come out and tape that moment, because that is going to be
oh my gosh, yes.
moment
Mm-hmm.
to be able to do that. And because really it's the community, and I call it people helping people.
How close are you guys to your goal? Like, how can we help support? What can people still do now?
We're about halfway there, so we got a little ways to go. Lots more shirts, so tell your friends.
Buy cute shirts, buy cute candles.
You know, the thing is, and I don't know, like I feel like your Wax Buffalo brand, and I always say too about you that it's partly because of your heart. Like, I feel like your brand has injected so much heart in it, and so people buy the candle, but they believe in what you do because of like how genuine you are and how willing you are to like lean in and be vulnerable. I guess my hope is that for this too, is that people know that like when they are supporting this, that it's a movement, and it's a movement of them. Yeah. It's people helping people. And I just think there's something so beautiful about that. And right now it's just people helping people through like these simple products, but it's in a tangible, I mean, the love is in a tangible form because it's meeting a real need that they have. And it's helping real people. And so there's something so sweet about that.
I totally agree. And people can come to your website, which is?
So it's makinglemon-a.com.
So everybody can go to it. They can buy a t-shirt and a hat and a candle, and we're going to raise that 10,000. And then I know you have bigger dreams for this too. Like I know we've talked about, I'm adding the lemon oil into our cute little candle here. This isn't going to stop after this, right? You have big dreams, and there's lots of people that need help, and our community has big hearts. So what's next? What do you think, Stacey?
So as you and I know, and this is probably yet a whole nother episode, I feel like there's a lot of pain going on right now in our world. I mean, past the coronavirus, right? There's a lot of hate that needs replaced with love, because I think love's transformative. And so, yeah, we've already been talking about what's next. And so I think we're going to have another like apparel item come out that says ally on it. Oh, and we're looking looking and praying through who like that next business is. And I'd love to find one that intersects like a local business that's hurting and a business that's owned by a person of color. And so that's kind of the heart of the next thing. But yeah, it's really cool to see what will be. And it's just brought me such energy, and it's just been like such a true joy to work on it. So
I have loved watching it, and just even like knowing you for so long and knowing your heart and the projects that you've worked on even in the past there's always a giving element. There's always like a story. It's infused with your love, and it's really exciting to see like you actually create something that's just fully you. It's fully your heart, and watching everyone in Lincoln, like all of these little lemon things pop up, and it's been really magical to watch. And then just knowing that like this is more than a product to you. This is like your heart, and this is like a way for you to tangibly help our beautiful community. And I'm so proud to be your friend. It's so beautiful.
It's sweet to work together, to have something to work on together. And when I went to pick up the candles, I saw it was your mom and dad, right?
Yes. They're holding down the fort during Corona.
That's so much.
So cute. They're so great. In fact, I like popped over there today just to get some supplies, and my cute little mama was like, would you ever have guessed when you started your candle company that we would just like be here in your space doing things with you? And we were all giggling. And I did say, like, I joked with you guys, like, why don't you just come to Lincoln, move to Lincoln someday? And they were like, oh, and here it is.
Right? Okay, so I have a question for you.
I dreamed it. Yeah.
What's been your favorite part about starting your Wax Buffalo company? Like, what's been something?
Oh, that's such a good question.
You never imagined, or
I love you, Stacey. I love that you even asked that. I think like, honestly, what I was not expecting was how much I love collaborations, and like not only collaborations, but literally being able to like connect with another creative like yourself. We get to dream together. And so that can be either like a vessel being made by another artist that we get to pour into, and it's just a better product, or something like this where it's like, I get to use what I know how to do, and you get to use what you know how to do, and somehow it like makes the world a better place. I think for a long time I was like, I can't just make candles. And I realized over like the 4 years of like what we've done and what we've built that like it really has nothing to do with making candles anymore. Like candles are the vehicle to like relationship and community, and we've been really lucky to be able to do that. I think like I just wasn't expecting that. it was a way for me to like help pay a little bit for the fam, and it became like so much more. Yeah, people love candles, right? And so it's a really great way to show support. Pour a little wax. I was saying, like, you know, if everything goes crazy in quarantine, when, you know, we were all worried that things were going to get shut down, I was like, well, I guess I could provide light. If the electricity goes out, we'll just go around door to door handing out.
There is something to that. I mean, there's
Right?
the physical light, but then there's just the need for light right
Those
now.
like old artisanal crafts, like we might come back. Okay, here's our darling candle. And then of course it comes with that. Yeah, you show the logo. It's so cute. With the little lemon and then the like first aid cross, which I just love.
Yeah.
And tell me again who designed that for you. She did such a great job.
Dana Cotter she's very talented. I mean, I've known her for a really long time, Alicia, all the way back to my Brian days, which dates me quite a bit because that was, the kids were really small and now they're not. So it was probably 12 plus years ago. So yeah, she's
amazing.
She's
this
great.
is like a long relationship.
Yeah.
With a good friend. I love it. Okay, so moving forward, we'll send everyone to the site. They can buy t-shirts, they can buy hats, they can follow on Instagram so that they can see what the next adventure is. Do you have a place too where people can submit suggestions for people that may need help in the community?
I would love
that building.
So the website's really simple right now because, you know, in order to get something up and going and the time sensitivity to this, that was part of the adventure.
Yeah.
But on the website, there's a contact us section. Please, I would love ideas if you know someone as far as our next kind of adventure with the ally items. We're also going to be coming out with some kids products. And can I just tell you, I'm pretty pumped about that.
So something about mini versions, right?
I know.
It's better.
When you have beautiful children, so maybe I'll have to get them to model. Anyway,
I'll be buying all the tiny lemon teas.
So have them visit the website, but you could certainly also just submit a message via Instagram and maybe I'll figure out. I'm kind of on a higher learning curve with all the different things you can do on some of the social platforms. So you all will grow with me in that.
That's the best way to do it. It truly is. Aw, Stacey, thanks for coming on. Thanks for letting me pour lemon candles for your beautiful project. It's like a total honor and I love what you're doing. And I love seeing your heart like explode even further than I realized it could. You're amazing.
Yeah. So fun.
I hope that we get to do this more. We'll just keep talking about all the new adventures.
Yeah.
And pouring more candles. All right. I love you, girl.
Bye.
Thanks so much. See you soon. There are so many people in our beautiful community doing incredible things. And I just feel so grateful to get to hear their stories on a weekly basis. And I am so thankful that you tune in and listen to. Have an amazing evening. Bye.